Hello YouTube, this is Zach, and today I'm doing something that is way outside of like anything I ever expected that I would do on this channel. I'm actually going to be analyzing a VTuber, Ironmouse. This was a Patreon request, and I never thought in a million years that I'd be analyzing a VTuber, but here we are. Now, I want to preface this a little bit. I try not to talk too much before I start these days, but I want to preface this a little bit. This is going to be very different from my typical vocal reaction / analysis, because normally whenever I analyze singers and I talk about singing technique, I'm able to actually look at them and see what they're doing with their bodies. So the analysis in this is going to be completely hinged on what I hear. So it might not be as thorough and it might not be as accurate, because there is an element, like every time you make a sound, there's sound coming out of your mouth and your face is making, different muscle engagements and all these kinds of things. So when I'm listening to someone without the ability to watch what they're doing, it's going to change things. And I did a little bit of preliminary research about Ironmouse. I'm sure that some of you can probably correct me or inform me a little bit more, but Ironmouse has common variable immunodeficiency, or CVID, and that has affected her singing, and she's had to have some various surgeries done and things like that. But the voice that you hear apparently when she sings is her real voice. So that's why I ultimately decided to take this on, because it's going to be interesting to hear someone that has kind of recovered from a big vocal injury and is having to kind of compensate for some issues. And I don't know how pitch corrected or tuned or anything this is going to be. I don't know, but it's going to be very interesting to hear, how this sounds ultimately. From what I understand, Ironmouse was originally aspiring to be a coloratura soprano, and has decided to sing in spite of whatever setback she's endured, and I think that's fantastic. I'm always super happy to know that people are, work to overcome things that they struggle with. So I'm certainly excited to hear it and to see what I can come up with it. This song is Music Box of Fate. Apparently it's an original opera song that Ironmouse composed. So yeah, without further ado, here we go. Let's see what we got. Totally out of my wheelhouse here. Totally out of my element. Yeah, this is clearly a real voice. I didn't know what to expect, but a lot of times when I see VTubers and singing in these types of environments, you get a lot of like that of the like Vocaloid kind of sound, like the Hatsune Miku. I think that's what it's called. I'm not super familiar with that whole realm, but I know that a lot of the VTuber singers that I've heard kind of had that super processed sound. I'm sure that there's production and mixing on this, but it sounds like a real human voice here for sure. No doubt about that. I hear a very fluttery vibrato that could be caused by a lot of things. It's a fast vibrato. It's a narrow vibrato, but it doesn't sound like your Kathleen Battle type vibrato. So I would say that it has a classical quality, but it doesn't have the same kind of like operatic classical timbre you would hear from a singer like that. But I can definitely hear the intent, what the goal of the sound is. It almost gives me like an Edith Piaf kind of vibe, and the approach. I can kind of hear that sort of sound in it. I think that's kind of the intent of the sound here, and it works. And again, I don't know a lot about the condition, so I'm not even going to act like an expert, and I'm sure some of you can probably tell me some more about it in the comments, but it's already remarkable that she's able to produce this kind of sound given the circumstances. Yeah. Yeah, so I know I'm not really looking at the visuals. I'm sure there's stuff going on. There's like a story being told, but I'm so focused on listening to the voice that I'm kind of tuning out what I'm seeing. I can clearly hear why she would have pursued the coloratura career. She has that lighter, kind of very bright timbre that absolutely fits in the coloratura kind of spectrum. Now, I haven't heard the extent of her range, but she absolutely has that bright, light kind of quality that their typical coloratura has. Now, there are some exceptions. Some coloraturas have a haughtier, kind of heftier sound, but this is absolutely kind of in line with that leaner coloratura sound, without a doubt, for sure. Yeah, like, I'm sorry to stop it again so quickly, but hearing just that line, that sound there, like, it's definitely got the classical quality. You can hear the space in the sound. Before, at the beginning of it, the vibrato was kind of narrow and kind of like thin, but it's starting to open up and get a little more rounded, and that's a byproduct of the creation of space in the back of the mouth. Yeah, I can definitely hear the operatic qualities in the sound for sure. Yeah. I heard a portato kind of. So a portato is kind of when you have the kind of chromatic descend. Like, I don't know what word it was on, but like, let me go back. Like on C, that kind of chromatic downward motion that doesn't just sound like a slide, it almost sounds like steps. That's an example of a portato. Like there, C, that's another portato. I can kind of hear that. Yeah, these are all operatic things. These are all things that you hear opera singers do. So she clearly has some operatic pedigree for sure. I think it's truly impressive that she's able to sing to this extent given her limitations. And I'm always happy to hear when people can really overcome adversity and setbacks. We all struggle with things as singers to different degrees. You know, I have my struggles as a singer, and all my students have their struggles as singers. But this is like a different kind of level of setbacks. Like, if I'm not mistaken, I think that is she bedridden or like unable to like has some kind of like devices that help her breathe or function or something. Yeah, I actually just checked, and she's on oxygen support 24/7. I mean, my goodness. I mean, like how do you, honestly, I mean, I'm not being a reactor right now. Like, I'm honestly, I'm genuinely shocked that, assuming she's still under a condition where she's on oxygen support all the time, to get this kind of vocal production is insane. Like, I wish I could. I know, VTubers, the whole thing is they don't show their faces. I wish I could see the process, because like that's just insane. I mean, it's remarkable. Yeah, and I don't even think that this is all that tuned. I don't think that there's that much tuning on it, because the intonation sounds very human, not out of tune, but it just sounds human. It doesn't sound like it's been really messed with very much at all. I mean, this is, I did not know what to expect, but I'm pleasantly surprised by this. Nice open ah vowel, like good. I wish I could see the embouchure, but it sounds like a very spacious, like back of the mouth open ah. Really nice. Yeah. I mean, come on. Like, this is all right. I'm a voice teacher. You all who have known my content for a long time know this. I'm very picky. I'm very analytical. I'm very detailed when I teach and when I analyze these types of things. And like, you don't hear me say very often that like this is just good. I mean, like, is the even if Ironmouse did not have the types of limitations that she has, I would still say that this is an extremely promising voice that has a ton of potential, that is well on the way to an opera career. You know, like, I think that there are enough qualities, like you can really hear the rounded openness in the vowels. I mean, like, just listen to these vowels, the ah vowels, the o vowels. Listen to this. Even the fight, fa, she's not going fa. The vowel is not bright, it's dark, it's rounded. You know a vowel is kind of rounded when it has that darker quality, and it doesn't sound bright, and it doesn't sound like fight, fa, like that has that rich operatic tone. I mean, for sure. Song, yeah, I mean, absolutely. It has that open pharynx, the back of the mouth. This is cool. I'm this is a lot cool. I won't say that I prejudged, but I will say that I did not have any, like, a lot of times when I hear people talk about being like sounding like opera, I'm a little skeptical, because like a lot of people say that things are opera sounding when they aren't. Like, there's a lot of like metal singers, you know, that their fans say, oh, they sing operatic, and it's not. This is actually very much in the opera classical vein. The song isn't a classical piece. Like, it sounds much more like Broadway, that has a Broadway sound to it. But the singing technique absolutely falls more into the classical and opera sound. I'm very impressed by this. I gotta say, this was very impressive. Yeah, really rounded, rich vowels. Wow, yeah, this is awesome. This is awesome. I like it. I mean, yeah, like, all right. I'm just gonna say it. All you people out there that like talk about how legato can't do it, you don't want legato, you know, you don't think legato is necessary, or you just don't want to try to do it. What is your excuse? This is incredible legato for someone that has is hooked up on oxygen, that has like a breathing, like a lung problem. The line of the sound, like, listen to this. Like, I'll go back and play it. Listen to how connected the line, the sound, and the phrases is. Listen to this. Like, da, 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 like a nice consistent line of sound with some decay and growth on it. Come on, like this is, I had no idea who Ironmouse was before this, but like, and I don't know if Ironmouse will ever see this, but like, props to you, because you are doing things that people, like, with the limitations that you have, that I've worked with a lot of people. I've worked with hundreds and hundreds of people in my life, and I've had some incredible students. I mean, I've been so blessed to have incredible students throughout most of my career. There are singers that have had the type of potential and talent that Ironmouse has, that have just held themselves back for whatever reason. Some of it's like psychological, some of it is they just don't want to put in the work, some of it is that they just limit themselves. But like, Ironmouse here has done the opposite and taken the limitations and performed and developed in spite of them. Like, this is, honestly, this is the most impressed that I've been by a singer probably since I analyzed Alice de Port-Pessier from Expedition 33. Like, you know, I don't want to hear anyone's excuses. Like, there are no excuses. This is inspiring. This is the kind of thing that proves that if you want to sing, you can sing. If you put in the work and you're devoted to it and you're serious about it, you can sing in spite of whatever limitations you have. Props to Ironmouse. This is fantastic. even dynamics, like you know, the music kind of got softer, and you could hear the voice become a little more delicate when she went to heart. You could hear that that note didn't quite have as much punch on it as it did before. She brought the volume back a little bit to kind of fit the dynamics of the song. Good sensitivity, good ears.
From the start, you shone brighter than heaven's star. Even far apart, nothing will separate.
Yes, that's a vowel modification. Sway. Instead of saying a sway all the way to A, she kind of went sway, sway my heart. She kind of did like that. That's a very common vowel modification that women will use once they move up into the upper, like passaggio, past the chest voice, up in the low end of the head voice. Very common vowel modification. Pretty nice.
Your music heart rings louder than the dying stars. Against the wills of God, we'll find, chasing the sound. Oh, as your sun returns.
Yeah. Excellent O vowels, excellent A vowels, great space. I mean, like this, again, I am so impressed that she is able to do this in spite of her issues. Like, I cannot emphasize that enough. You know, I'm not trying to make a monolith out of her. Like, I don't want to, you know, treat her like she's in a circus or something like that by being like, oh, she's got all these issues. Even if she didn't have issues and I heard this, I would say, like, this person has some skill. This person has some understanding and some technique, you know. So the fact that these clear technical strengths are distinguishable despite her condition, it's phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal. I think that it is a testament to her talent and her work and her determination. It's awesome.
Eternally bound to you, forever burn for you. So with the last of the strength in my heart,
Nice. I mean, yeah. Bravo. Bravo. All right. So honestly, I went into this thinking that it was going to be like a Vocaloid type thing. Like, it was going to be really pitch corrected, really like mechanical sounding, really auto-tune sounding. This was not. This was a genuine, real performance. I'm sure that it was mixed and maybe she did a few different takes and it was comped sometimes and things like that. But there was enough real in that, like singular lines of sound that were clearly done in one take, you know, consistent legato, great vowel modifications. I didn't even have to see her. Like, and that is another testament to how solid the technique is, that to where I can listen to the things that she's doing. I can hear the vowel modifications. I can hear the adjustments that she's making with the vowel choices and the space in the back of the mouth when she moves up the voice. Really nice stuff. Kudos, Ironmouse. I don't know if you'll ever see this video, but like, that I'm incredibly impressed. That's inspiring. That's really inspiring. And it you know, it when you hear that this kind of thing, it reminds you why you do it, you know. She is reaching millions of people and creating music and creating art for people and expressing herself in spite of whatever, you know, limitations or issues that have been imposed on her against her will. Kudos. Incredible work. My patron who recommended this, his name is Boss Joe. Thank you, Boss Joe. This was beyond my expectations. I didn't know what to expect, but it was certainly not this. And this was a pleasure to listen to. So thank you for the recommendation. Ironmouse fans, please let me know anything that I missed. I apologize if I missed some detail or if there's something I didn't pick up on. I'd love to hear more about her. If you have more for me to listen to of this type of thing, I'd love to hear it. Yeah, if any of you know her or have connections with her, let her know. Like, you know, for whatever my voice is worth, I'm a little tiny YouTuber. Let her know what she does is inspiring. Really excellent work. Real quick before we go, I am currently in the process of raising money so that I can go to the Vocology Institute in Utah this summer. I've been invited to get what's called vocology certification, which helps me learn more about voice issues and be able to understand more about the voice, the science of the voice, and get a certification that allows me to be more hands-on and in depth with voice science. So if you support what I do, and if you appreciate what I do, please consider donating. Any amount helps. I've still got a few months before it starts, and hopefully I'll get there to where I can afford to go. But anyway, thank you all so much for your support, and thanks again, Boss Joe, for the recommendation. And Ironmouse fans, you guys have found a gem in this. This is really something incredible. So thank you all for watching. Take care. Bye.